Well, I was really lucky. I grew up in London, and I grew up in a family who were absolutely up for arts and culture. I learned a musical instrument. We went to the theatre. We went to galleries. It was very, very much part of what we did. We discussed it. We got enthusiastic about it. So I was exposed to a lot of theatre early on, which was really fabulous. But like most people, and I acted at school, etc., etc. But I do remember thinking, oh well, should I train as an accountant? Should I train as a lawyer? Whatever. And then I was watched for the third time the RSC's production of Nicholas Nickleby, which was this massive ensemble piece that lasted 9 hours, and it was simply superb and the most exciting thing I'd ever seen. And I just remember thinking at one point, well, I know I don't want to act or direct, but I absolutely have to be a part of this. I'm going to sell the ice cream, because that was the only other job I could see anybody doing. So for me, it is, and I think it's very similar for a lot of people who want to work in theatre. It's actually a vocation. It's a Damascene moment of conversion where I think, I've got to do this, and I didn't even know what the jobs were. So I'm really passionate about theatre, and I really love the fact that even though I'm on the business side, it's very much the theatre that makes me want to keep working in it, because I just love what we do. For me, there are specific productions and specific companies. So, like the Royal Shakespeare Company, late 70s, early 80s, which resulted in this tremendous Nicholas Nickleby. The National at the same time did a fabulous promenade production in the Cottesloe of the Mystery Plays, which was such a different way of seeing theatre from my point of view. The RSC under Michael Boyd doing the histories cycle, I absolutely loved, and it was such a privilege to be working here. So that I saw them 3 times over 3 years. I saw it all grow, really glorious. I really enjoy Hamish's work as an artist, which is absolutely why I keep asking him to keep the money for himself, please. So looking forward to Fighting Irish, but absolutely, his pieces are really powerful. They really mean it. They're really, they're rooted locally, so they have huge resonance. So my highlight from Dundee Rep when we worked together was Cabaret, which was just a glorious experience. And then here, we've had all these wonderful plays set in Coventry, like One Night in November and Too Much Pressure and We'll Live and Die in These Towns. And I'm so looking forward to Fighting Irish. Well, the thing that attracted me to the Belgrade was 2 auditoria, because my previous show was one stage, Dundee Rep, which sat 450. So to have a big scale, 850, but combined with an intimate 200, which we were building, which was being built, was very attractive, and also fabulous to be able to continue to work with Hamish. It's a very special working relationship, and it's very powerful when it's right. Because, here we have achieved these incredible things, whereas actually, if I'd just been in charge, I probably would have been too cautious because of the financial risk. So it's that, is that mixing together of those 2 disciplines on the common purpose of finding the way to make it all happen. So he was a big factor, absolutely a big factor to come here too. Really important, actually, because we really enjoy the variety of bringing in the presented work. That's really fantastic. But actually, why I want to be in theatre is to make work. Even though I'm, quotes, just a producer, I'm just a money person. But it's still, I want to make the work, and I personally want to have a personal engagement in making that show happen. So it's really important. It's absolutely essential for me that it was producing theatre. I can't imagine working in a presenting theatre, actually. My lovely first artistic director was a man called Mark Brittman, who I don't think is working anymore, and he did a magical production of Faustus. It was a production that I came in on. So it was 3 actors doing just very theatrically inventive, interesting production of Faustus, and that was eye-opening, that 3 people could do such a piece of theatre in a tiny wee studio space. So that was, I thought, that was really brilliant. Dundee Rep, we set up an ensemble company, and that was just fantastic to have 15 actors who do different plays and different shows in a 3-year cycle. So that working with an ensemble and seeing them doing lots of different shows was just fantastic. I mentioned Cabaret, which was glorious. And here, for me, One Night in November was eye-opening. I understood that the Blitz was a massive story for Coventry, but watching that play One Night in November made me viscerally understand, emotionally, why it is such an important part of the history, and it resonates still. To be where we are now, despite the pandemic, I think is an enormous achievement. And I love the fact that, I mean, everyone will focus on the beautiful building because that's the thing that people can see. And of course, I'm very, very proud of that. But I'm so proud of the work that we do and the level of engagement that we have with lots of diverse audiences, and the participation engagement and the kind of work that we present, and the fact that the Belgrade is a place that people want to come and share stories and tell their life stories to each other. And I love the fact that it's a community resource and it's much loved. I absolutely think theatre changes people's lives, and it's really important for the city, and I can help make that a positive thing. It was always going to be really, really difficult to leave here, really, really difficult. And the pandemic has actually made it easier because it has been so painful that really, in order to survive the stress of the pandemic, I had to let go. I think it's very positive for the organisation because it's an opportunity for fresh leadership, a fresh structure, a fresh start. And of course, it is positive for me. Well, more theatre as a participant, because theatre is my main hobby. And one of the pandemic lessons I have is actually I really, really like downtime, and I need to protect downtime for myself. And I really enjoy being in the country, having access to the countryside and going for walks and making those kind of things happen. So my immediate plans are making sure I do lots of outdoor activity and making sure I do keep downtime, and looking for what job is going to appeal to me.